Hello.
How are you?
Good. Good afternoon. I'm actually in London.
Oh, okay. Well, good. I love the future, so I always love these calls. So I get to see what's going on. So I'm here in Kansas City,
Good day.
Missouri.
You're all set.
Yes. Yeah, I'm in the middle of America, so it's great to meet you. Thanks for taking a minute out today.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I want to begin our conversation with surviving the last 3.5 years. How did you get through the pandemic, and how did it subsequently change you?
Yeah, it was a slippery slope at the beginning because I'm an accountant. So my principal work was in tax, and this all took place right in the midst of the tax deadline. The government had no idea how they were going to handle this. There were people without jobs, without incomes coming in, and they were all turning to me. My inbox was flooded with people saying, "Oh my God, what do I do?" But the bright light in there was the people that I had been working with for a number of years who were emailing me and saying, "Thank God for the work we've done. I'm not worried. When you have time, I'd love to chat about the way forward."
Yeah.
And for me, that was such a huge inspiration to be able to take what I've been doing with people and really expand it.
Yeah. So let's get to the heart and soul of exactly what you do for a living. I'm going to put you in front of a bunch of third graders. It's career day. And one of the kids says, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" How do you answer them?
That's a great question. And it's probably not that different than how I would answer an adult
Right.
because a lot of us don't understand how we deal with money, right?
Sure.
And so the answer is we aren't taught in our schools how to be adults with money. And that's where I come in. So I help people understand their relationship with money because we think of money as a tool that we use to get stuff, but it's so much more complicated. And every single thing that we do in our lives is impacted by money. Money is at the core, which means we have to have a great relationship with money and we have to have excellent decision making skills.
Sure.
And that's what I teach.
So how did we get here? Tell me where you were born and raised. How did this fascination with money and management and helping others get to that point? How did all this evolve into you today?
Yeah. So, well, born in the Bronx, New York,
Okay.
and raised in a combination of New York and New Jersey. My parents wanted to be suburbanites, even though I wanted to stay in the city. And grew up really in an environment where they pointed out what we were good at and told us go. And I always was good at math, liked money. And so they pointed me in the direction of being an accountant, which I did. But the thing that I loved the most in my career was helping people with their decisions.
Mhm.
And in that unique position of working with people and their money, I was able to see into all different lives, all different circumstances. And one of the things that I noticed very early on, like my early 20s, when I was still trying to figure it out, was how is it that there are people with large sums of money that are struggling and people with very modest amounts of money that are living their best lives? That means the quantity of money, more money is not the answer. So then what question are we supposed to be asking? And that led me to create the concept of financial insight by observing people's lives and figuring out what is the magic formula to be good with money.
So what's the best advice you've ever gotten?
Oh, the best advice I've ever gotten was to trust my own inner voice, to
Yeah.
listen to myself, not be listening to the shoulds of other people, and really make sure that I was following the path that was best for me.
So let's go back to the third grade mindset. What did you want to be when you grew up?
Well, as I said, I was encouraged to do things that I was good at,
Yeah.
and there wasn't too much other nurturing other than that. So I don't know. When I look back, I think I could have been an architect. I love the arts. I could have pursued something there, but my path was sort of laid out.
Yeah.
And I knew very young that I was going to be an accountant, which didn't sound that exciting, but people said I'd be good at it. And that's the path I took.
Well, I guess that's the thing. You really have to find what your calling is, what you're good at, and then what is it? If you find what you love, you don't work a day in your life, that kind of a thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what I came to find out in doing this work was, as much as I do enjoy money and numbers, that wasn't the thing.
Yeah.
Money ended up being a language for me.
Yeah.
It's the way that I listen to people and the way that I help people.
It's the one thing we all have a relationship with. No matter
Mhm.
what our status is as humans, we all have a relationship with money.
Yeah. The only thing that I can really compare it to help people understand it is the relationship with your body.
Yeah.
Because and that can be charged for some people, but instead of thinking of it from all the typical ways like weight and beauty and things like that, I like to say think of it from height, because that's something that's given to us. We don't get to choose.
Yeah.
And if you're 6'4" and someone else is 5'4", they can only see the world through their own eyes.
Yeah.
And so you're looking out into the world from your body and the way that you move through the world. You're doing the same thing with your finances. Only you know what it feels like to live in your circumstances.
For sure. So who's been a hero for you in your life?
Oh gosh. Heroes. So, there was a client that began to inspire me when I was very young. It's actually a couple who always seemed to make the best choices, no matter what the circumstances were. I used to tease them and say, everything you touch turns to gold. And they would say, no, we're just doing the thing that's right for us. And these are the people that told me, don't listen to the shoulds.
Right.
And they lived their lives very differently than other people did and loved every part of their lives. If
Yeah.
something wasn't working, they made the adjustment. And so I was very inspired by that, because also at the same time, I was watching people that struggled.
Yeah.
And I was able to see the difference. And the struggles have a lot to do with the shoulds, with the not being able to speak your mind, with relationships being tumultuous and careers not turning out the way that you want and people feeling stuck. And I saw this couple that never felt stuck. And it was just a huge inspiration.
Absolutely. So if you could meet anybody alive on the planet, speaking of inspirations, who would it be? Who would you love to meet and talk to?
Oh goodness. Can I have like a top three here?
Absolutely. You can have a round table.
Yeah, I love thought leaders
Yeah.
and people who have taken the world conversation and changed it. So I'm thinking people like Oprah, Brene Brown, Eckhart Tolle, people that really move the conversation, because
Yeah.
I would love to transform the conversation that we have around money. So getting to sit with those people and say, how do I find the spaces to shift people's thinking would be really exciting for me.
So you clearly have a passion for helping people, figure all of this out. What is it that gets you up every day? What motivates you to not only help others, but for you to grow and evolve as a person?
Well, doing this is very vulnerable in a lot of ways. I have to put myself on social media and in interviews and write a book to get it out in the world. And that's outside of my comfort zone. I like talking one to one,
Yeah.
but I also want to have an impact in a bigger way, as I said. So when I wake up in the morning, I need to think about the people whose lives have changed from the work that we've done together.
Yeah.
And that's exciting.
So of all of the things that you've done so far in your life, what are you the proudest of?
I am really proud of having created something that didn't exist before.
Yeah.
So the conversations that I created and this concept of financial insight, I like to say that I discovered it because I was able to see it in people. It's there, but it's in the rare few. And being able to take that and create an entire curriculum with a program, coaching, writing a book, and getting that message out into the world, for me, I can't imagine being prouder than
Yeah.
than having created something brand new.
The one thing about our American culture is that, we're just as fascinated with successful business people as we are with like athletes and sports.
Mhm.
Who is it in the realm of business or money management that you've seen that you admire the most or you think deals with money in the best way?
The people that I admire the most are going to be the everyday people that I work with. Because of my perspective and the way that I see money, I know that most of what we see about celebrity is smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
It's not real. And, you know, those people are struggling with their choices in the same way that the rest of us are, but it looks shiny.
Yeah.
So for me, when I look into the lives of a small business owner that comes to me and is struggling to figure out how to grow their business, and they do the work, and we talk about the ways to transform their lives to live the best in their circumstances for what they want in their life, to design success and have them live into it. Those are the people that I admire most.
Yeah, for sure. So let's say you have a dream tonight. You run into the 20-year-old version of you. You can give
Mhm.
that young version of you a piece of advice based on the wisdom you've gained in your life up to this point. What advice would you impart on your young version?
Well, I would tell her to be patient because she's not particularly good at that. And that the reason that she needs to be patient is that the challenges and obstacles that we face are the greatest sources of information and lessons. And you will gain so much more from those things that feel like they're in the way than you ever will from any success.
Yeah.
So go for the ride. Trust that what's happening is meant to be.
Yeah. So everyone has a perception of you, family, friends, clients, colleagues, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
Mhm. I haven't said this publicly before, but I think of myself as a philosopher with money.
Yeah.
It's it's about the way that we live our lives, and I see and interpret lives through money, and it's a very different lens. And I wish that I could spend all day just opining on the lessons and teaching people, and that's really what I want to do because of the way that I see it. I think it's very unique.
The one thing about money too is it's almost like a big sports win, like a or some kind of big moment that we celebrate as humans. It's the transactions. There's big transactions that happen. If you could go back in time and see the signing of a transaction, the transfer of that big money, the big moment, where would you love to be? To see the expressions on their face? What would you love to have witnessed?
Um, you know, in the moments that people make the big shift from living in debt to no longer having that be a part of their lives. I think those are the really special moments, but it's in the aha that has them make that transformation. They're not big wins. It's not the lottery
Yeah.
because to be honest with you, when people win the lottery or have a big windfall, if they haven't worked on their relationship with money, they're going to do the same exact things that they did. And if they were making mistakes, they're going to make the same kinds of mistakes in a bigger way. So it's really in those small moments when you recognize I can be different and I can make a good choice here. Those are the ones I love to witness.
Yeah, what a great answer. So, if anyone out there wants to learn more from you, hire you, reach out, what's the best possible way to do that?
Yeah, so my book is available wherever you buy books, Amazon, at your local bookstore, anywhere you like. It's Financial Insight. Be the author of your life story. And my website is financialinsighttraining.com. I have programs. I want to work directly with people. And of course, they can find me on social media at financial.insight.training.
Excellent, Jodi. Thank you so much. This has been fascinating. I appreciate the story. Best of luck in 2024.
Thanks. Take care.
Thank you. See you later.